So you're gonna. This is when your invisible pin comes in, right? Okay, to mark your buttonholes because it supposedly goes away. So I need to sew from here to here. So on my pattern, it'll be the edge of the buttonholes, and you just put a pin, stick a straight pin in there, and just use your marker to mark the edge of the buttonhole. Or you can use tail tacks, either one. Okay. So I'm gonna sew from here to here. These are horizontal buttonholes. You're gonna make two little samples, right? You have a buttonhole there and there. Remember, you're gonna top stitch your center front. So measure on your pattern, excluding your seam allowance, right? Take your pattern that you cut the vest from, take away your 5/8 inch seam allowance, right? And then from there you're gonna measure over, because now this has the 5/8 inch seam allowance gone, right?
So we should start the pattern from the seam allowance?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because the seam allowance is inside, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter beyond that. So it'll be like this, okay? So the buttonholes will go. I have a marker for these. If you put 2 on your sample, whatever your center from that seam allowance is, 1/2 inch, 5/8, whatever it is, you're gonna baste it straight down. So you have a basting stitch that's going to be right on the center front of your garment. To measure the center front of your garment, you're going to take your pattern, right, minus the seam allowance, and measure from the edge of the fabric, which is right here, to the center front. Does that make sense? No. Doesn't. Okay? So you have your pattern, right?
Yeah.
You might have your pattern handy, like really handy.